President Trump today says Nancy Pelosi needs to get back to work. Pelosi has told colleagues that the House won't come out of recess until May 4th, unless for some reason there should be an emergency. She apparently has missed this pandemic. In a tweet, President Trump said this: "She is totally incompetent and controlled by the radical left, a weak and pathetic puppet. Come back to Washington and do your job." Well, joining us now, Republican National Committee Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel. Ronna, great to have you with us. Can you imagine the Speaker saying, barring an emergency, she won't be back until the 4th of May? I mean, this is your thoughts.
I think it's disgusting that she's in her mansion in San Francisco while millions and millions of Americans are losing their jobs, wondering if they're going to have a paycheck, wondering if their small business will remain open, and also losing their lives. And she won't come back to Washington and do her job in a time of crisis. I think the American people are being let down by the Democrat Party, not only by that, but them not extending the PPP loans to small businesses so small businesses can stay open and continue to pay their employees. It is really, really a disgrace to see Nancy Pelosi failing the American people at this time.
People who lose their jobs, small businesses that fail, people who are desperate for help here have only to look at Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and the Democratic Party for the consequences that they are unfairly going to bear. How does that make any political sense for even the radical Democrats?
It doesn't. And you know, I talked to someone today, a good friend of mine, and she said, we can't survive this. Our business will not survive this. And Democrats refusing to extend these small business loans. They know how popular this program is. And for her to not come back to Washington and work. The president is there every day. Dr. Fauci, Dr. Birx, they're there every day, working to help us get through this crisis. And for Nancy Pelosi to stay in her mansion during this time is just so disgusting and disgraceful. And the working class people in this country should recognize the Democrat Party no longer stands for them.
And the president making it very clear that he is considering putting Congress and the Senate into recess. If they're not going to work, what is the point? And if all they're going to do is obstruct his nominees, he needs to move this government forward. That's what the American people elected him to do. What are your thoughts about, for the first time in history, an American president saying to the Senate and the House, you're no longer about loyal opposition, you're about subversion, and you're going home until we need you?
Yeah, I don't think the American people have realized the amount of obstruction this president has faced in putting appointments in place in his administration.
Really?
You know, he was elected, and they have put so many votes to cloture, 6, 7 times what the past 6 presidents have dealt with. I mean, it is truly amazing how many of his nominees have not been able to get through. And I think the president's just fed up. He's saying, I'm done. You're preventing our government from functioning, and we're in a time of crisis. And if you're not going to come back to Washington and do your job, then we don't need you, and I'll get these people in and get this government working on my own.
You know, the American people have watched the Democrats become the party of hate, and to put together for the first time in my knowledge, an investigation of a sitting president, for an investigation of a presidential candidate. 3 years it went on, both by the FBI and the special counsel and the impeachment. My God, the American people, I have to believe, have a pretty good sense of the efforts of the Democrats to overthrow this president and to subvert every policy that he's offered.
Yeah, I just don't know if they know how many of these nominations have gone to a cloture vote. I think with the past 6 presidents, it's gone to cloture about 20 times. In the first 2 years of this president, it went to cloture about 130 times. It is astounding how many of our nominees have not been able to get through to the positions that the president has nominated them for.
He has the support of the party in doing this. Your thoughts as we wrap up?
Listen, I trust the president. We are in a time of crisis. He is a wartime president. And if Nancy Pelosi refuses to come back to Washington to govern, I don't know what choice she's giving him.
All right. Ronna McDaniel, always great to have you with us. We thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you.